Okay, so today for lesson 12, we're going to be applying our understanding of fraction equivalence to add tenths and hundredths. So starting off with number 1, we're going to complete the number sentence by expressing each part using hundredths. We're going to model using the place value chart, just like it's been shown in part A. So if you can take a look, we have 1/10 and 5 hundredths. So now we're going to make our 1/10 into 10 hundredths, and that'll give us a total of 15 hundredths. For the next one, we're starting with 2/10 and 1/100th. Okay, so we're going to decompose each of our tenths into 10 hundredths. Okay, making our groups of 10. So now we can see that we have 10, 20, and then our 1, or 21 hundredths. So our 2/10 become, and 1/100th becomes 21 hundredths. Moving on to the next one, we have 1/10, and this one's a little bit different because we have 12 hundredths. Okay, so I already have a group of 10 hundredths there, and then I have my 10th, which becomes another 10 hundredths. So now when we take a look, our 1/10 and 12 hundredths then becomes 22 hundredths. Okay, because you have 10, 20, and then the 2. So moving on to part 2, we're going to solve by converting all addends to hundredths before solving. Okay, we're going to make sure everything is in hundredths. So we're going to start off with our 1/10 plus 3 hundredths. Okay, well our 1/10 has to become 10 hundredths. So the first thing we're going to do is convert this into this. And then we can add 10 hundredths plus 3 hundredths to get our 13 hundredths. Next one, we have our 5/10. 5 times 10 is 50. So now we have 50 hundredths plus our 12 hundredths, which then gets us 62 hundredths. Okay, next we have 7/10. 7 times 10 is 70, so 7/10 becomes 70 hundredths, plus 27 hundredths, for a total of 97 hundredths. Okay, so next one, notice how the numbers have been flipped. So we're starting off with 37 hundredths and converting our 7/10 into 70 hundredths. So notice the order has just been flipped a little bit, so make sure you're watching for the units. 37 plus 70 gets us 107 hundredths. Okay, moving on to number 3. We're going to be finding the sum and then converting tenths to hundredths as needed. And then we're going to write our answer as a decimal. So, just like number 2, we're going to be converting our tenths into hundredths. So our 2/10 becomes 20 hundredths plus 8 hundredths, which gets us a total of 28 hundredths, and then written as a decimal looks like that. Okay. Part B, 13 hundredths, well that stays. 4/10 then becomes 40 hundredths. Add those up, we have 53 hundredths, and then written as a decimal. Okay. We'll zoom this out a little bit. Okay, next, letter C, we have 6/10, which becomes 60 hundredths, plus 39 hundredths, gets us 99 hundredths, and then written as a decimal. Okay, notice our 6/10 becomes 60 hundredths. Moving on to letter D, we have 70 hundredths, plus 3/10, which becomes 30 hundredths. 70 plus 30 is 100. So we have 100 hundredths, which you know equals 1. Okay, next we're going to solve, and we're going to write our answer as a decimal. Okay, so we're going to take a look at 4A. Now what's going to make these ones a little bit different is that all of these are going to be going over 1. Okay, so we're going to have 90 hundredths plus 42 hundredths. Okay, now what's different about this is we can solve this a couple of different ways. Okay, one way, we can do 90 plus 42, which gets us 132 hundredths. Okay, which you know is 1 and 32 hundredths. And then written as a decimal would look like that. So there's your 132 hundredths, or 1 and 32 hundredths. Okay, moving on to letter B here, we have 70 hundredths plus 50 hundredths because of our 5 tenths. So add that up, we get 120 hundredths, which equals 1 and 20 hundredths as a mixed number. And then switching it over to a decimal would look like that. Okay, or like this. Okay, you could have 1 and 20 hundredths or 1 and 2 tenths. Remember that they are equivalent. Okay, another way to solve this. So we have 68 hundredths plus 80 hundredths. Now, one other way that we could do to solve this is to make our ones first. So, for example, we can break up our 68 hundredths into 20 hundredths and 48 hundredths. Okay, because I know that 20 plus 80 is going to give me 1. 80 plus 20 is 100 hundredths. And then I have 48 hundredths left, and then convert it into a decimal. Okay, so you can see it's slightly different than the way that we did in the A and B. Okay, we'll do that again for letter D here. So 7 tenths becomes 70 hundredths plus 87 hundredths. Okay, now again I see my 70, so I know that I need 30 more hundredths to make 1, and then we have 57 hundredths left over. Okay, so by breaking it off this way, we're trying to make our 1 whole. 70 plus 30 gets our 100 hundredths, and then we see that we have 57 hundredths left, and then convert into a decimal. Okay, so when you do this on the homework pages and the exit ticket, you can do either the way that we did in A and B, or the way that we did it in C and D, whichever way you are most comfortable with. Okay, so moving on to our last question here with number 5. Okay, we have beaker A has 63 100ths of a liter of iodine. It's filled the rest of the way with water up to 1 liter. Okay, now beaker B has 4/10 liter of iodine. It is filled the rest of the way with water up to 1 liter. If both beakers are emptied into a large beaker, how much iodine will be in the large beaker? Okay, so we're going to set up our tape diagram here. Okay, now we know that we have 2 beakers. So let's go back and take a look. And we're trying to find out how much iodine. So beaker A has 63 hundredths liter of iodine. So I'm going to put that in my first spot. It's filled the rest of the way up with water, up to 1 liter. Beaker B has 4/10 of a liter of iodine, and it's filled the rest of the way up with water. Okay, now we're going to be combining both beakers, and we want to know how much iodine there is. So if you notice, this problem has actually more information than what we need. We really don't need to know the amount of water. We're just focusing on the iodine. So we're going to just be combining the amount of iodine that's in both beakers. And so we want to know what the total is of iodine. Okay. So now we go to add them up, just like we did in number 4. Okay. Okay, so again, you can do it either way. Okay, so we get 103 hundredths. Okay, which equals 1 and 3 hundredths. Okay. Now the question doesn't say anything about decimal or a fraction, but we know that 1 and 3 hundredths looks like this. So now when we go to write our answer statement, so there will be 1 and 3 hundredths liters of iodine in the large beaker. Okay. So today you saw a couple of different ways to add these fractions and then converting it into the decimals. Okay, this should be a good review for you. So remember to make sure you convert the tenths into hundredths, add them up whichever way is the most easiest for you, and then convert into the decimals. So go ahead and give the exit ticket a try, and we'll see you tomorrow.